Hello, today I will be talking to you about using the music extension in Scratch 3.0. The music extension lets you use Scratch to make music using note blocks and percussion blocks. To begin, open the extensions in Scratch by going down to the bottom left corner of your editor and select Music. It'll then take you down to the music blocks. Here we have a lot of very interesting blocks which we can use to make music in Scratch. The first block is the play drum block. This lets you choose from a variety of percussion instruments such as the snare drum, bass drum, and some of the more interesting ones like the cabasa and the conga and the guiro, and play them for a given amount of time using beats. So if we set this to 1 beat, then we can hear interesting instruments such as the vibra slap and, I'll turn the volume up, the bongo and the crash cymbal. So you can use this to add some excitement into your music. The next block is the rest block. This lets you put a pause in your music or rest your music for a given amount of beats. After this, my favorite block is the play note block. This lets you choose from a note from many octaves and play it using the beats, which will let you choose how long you want to play it for. So if I set this to 1 beat, and let's play a icy, you see? And then if we stack these up, we can play and C. Then we can play a low C. And then if we play these together, we get that. Now, you can change the instrument that you use to play these notes using the set instrument block. This lets you choose from many different pitched instruments to play the notes that you have selected below. So we can use interesting ones such as the synth pad, the marimba, and the music box. Or you can use one that you might have seen very often, such as the piano or the electric guitar. Now, using the set tempo block, you can choose whether this wants to go faster or slower. The tempo is measured in beats per minute. So if you're playing a song and you have the beats per minute written out, then you can set it to that. So I can set this to 120. Or I can set this to a low 30. You see? Then the final one that we have is the change tempo by. So you can put this in your music to make it go faster or slower. So if I set the tempo to 30, right? So I set the tempo to 30, and then so I'll play the first note at 30 beats per minute, and then since this is increasing it by 20, it will play the next 2 notes in 50 BPM. You see? And we can make them more dramatic when we set this to 60 and set this to another 60. And if you want to go slower, then you can just put a minus sign in front of what you want it to go at. So since this is 60, how about we make it minus 20. And if we use the rest block, then we can rest for quarter beat here, play our crash symbol here, and then we can hack that. You see? Now you can use this to play many different songs, including some that you may really like one of my favorites is Seven Nation Army. So we can set this to a low electric guitar, and then we can make the notes low, and then we can make out Seven Nation Army. Or if you're just starting, then you can try making out Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which is actually very interesting to make out. So that would just be that'd be 2 D's, 2 A's, 2 B's, and an A. So if you put that into here, then we can set this to 2 D's, right? So D is note 62, so we can just duplicate this. Then we found out that note A is 69, so we can duplicate this. And then that means that this is 72 because it counts all the flats as individual notes. So we have C, 60, 61, 62, 63. So that means that this is 71. You see? So if we set this to 71. So I set this to piano, so it sounds more like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And then we know that our last note is A, and we have A here, so that means our last note is 69. So I can just type that right in. And here we have Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Now, the tempo block down here, just like there are many different blocks, like the X position, back in motion, right? The Y position, and all of these which you can insert in, we can also use the tempo. So if in this case, so say we have the tempo, right? So let's set this tempo to 120. So and then this is our tempo. So we can check mark this, and it'll show up here. So right now it was set to 40, and then when I press this, it's 120 now. So we can put this in one of the blocks which has a circle in it. So if we have tempo out here and say, so the tempo is 120, so turn tempo degrees. So then our scratch cat will turn 120 degrees. And if this is, say, 20, then it'll turn an additional 20 degrees. Well, it's still set to 120. We need to play it. Now it's set 20. So now it'll turn an additional 20 degrees. So this is how to use the music extension in Scratch. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.